Now, while the term political skill or political savvy generally conjures up more negative than positive perceptions, it isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, leaders can utilize their political skill to create positive outcomes.
Joining us on the Kogo News Live Line, Executive Leadership Coach, Vice President of Sales, Strategy, and Education for Home Box Office, HBO, also the author of Crash, Carla Moore. Hi, Carla.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, Donna?
I'm doing fantastic. So what makes a good leader?
So I've written a book, you mentioned it, called Crash. And what I discovered after my own car crash, which is how I became enlightened around this, is that there's three things that leaders need in order to be impactful and meaningful. And it's knowing who you are, what you're here to do, and what you're in it for, regardless of the arena you're in, be it politics in government or politics at work, school, church, play, or in life. These three things are fundamental, and they're all under a concept that I call enlightened leadership.
Enlightened leadership. Okay, so, we and let's talk about that, but let's also talk about, we've all worked for some leaders who have not been the best. What big mistakes do some leaders make?
So it's funny, I just had this conversation just last night, and one of the key mistakes is that leaders who seek to lead first without serving, ego then tends to take over. And that's where poor decisions are made. And we know what happens when ego runs amok. So the most effective, the most impactful leaders are those who seek to serve first. So knowing who you are, what you're here to do, and putting service at the top of your list versus seeking power first is the winning combination.
So it's so strange because so many leaders get it wrong. So many managers get it wrong. If you're, if a manager is listening right now and they're thinking to themselves, okay, how do I be a better manager? What are some steps they can take to get that insight to maybe try to build that team?
And so the concept of enlightened leadership literally is centered around the leader and his or her own personal development. That's the largest concept that I write about, I talk about, I discuss. And when leaders get a sense truly of who they are, and when I say who they are, you have to know your likes, your dislikes, your passions, your purpose. You have to know what you're here to do. You have to know your own blind spots and pitfalls. See, when the leader grabs a sense of who they really are, and that genuineness and authenticity comes through, that's what people see and want to follow. But when people see leaders that have hidden agendas or they seek power first, people see that too. And next thing you know, leaders are looking behind them and no one's there. They're calling themselves leaders, but no one's behind them.
Okay, Carla, that leads me to, okay, you said personal agenda, something else that really struck me. And that's why I want to get politics into this. A politician is sometimes by nature you think of as someone who always has their own agenda. So how can a politician use these skills to their advantage?
So, the definition of politics is the debate or conflict among people having or hoping to achieve power. So power is in it. We all get it. We understand that there is a power component to politics, whether it is, again, at work, school, church, play, or in life. But where they go wrong, or where they could go right, I should speak in the affirmative, is if politicians or leaders move away from self-service, not looking to how this can serve them, but rather becoming a servant leader. What is it that people need and want and are clamoring for? What do team members need and want? How can leaders make space for talents and gifts of other people rather than them trying to shine? The best leaders share the spotlight. They know how to share the spotlight. Best leaders know how to create space for talents and gifts of others. But a leader who is self-absorbed and concerned about their own self-preservation, those are the leaders who are lost. And those are the leaders who do not produce teams that are highly engaged and are productive.
Our author of Crash.
Wow.
She is a leadership coach, vice president of sales, strategy, and education for HBO. Carla Moore, I love you right now so much.
We could talk to you for the
I
next.
love you guys too.
Yo, we could talk to you for the next 3 hours.
This is great. Me too. I love this. I love
Oh.
it. Great. Thank you.
Carla, thank you so much. And, I'm going to go out and get your book because I just think now you're one of my favorite people.
Yeah. So there.
Listen, you are my favorite people too. Listen, I'm going to send you the book. How's that?
Oh,
The book.
That's a beautiful
we would
thing.
love it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Carla, and have a great day.
Thank you for having me. You have a great weekend too.